coverage you can count on. KOMU 8 News starts now.
Thanks for joining us. KOMU 8 News at noon. I'm Nnamdi Agwanwu. President Trump and his allies are feeling triumphant today after the Attorney General turned over a 4-page letter to Congress Sunday summarizing the Mueller investigation. It's unclear whether the president obstructed justice. NBC's Kristen Welker has the details.
President Trump claiming victory and vindication.
So it's complete exoneration, no collusion, no obstruction. This was an illegal takedown that failed.
Press Secretary Sarah Sanders echoing that sentiment earlier with Savannah.
Would you acknowledge it is incorrect for the president to call this a total exoneration?
Not at all. It is. It is a complete and total exoneration. And here's why. Because the special counsel, they said they couldn't make a decision one way or the other. The way the process works is then they leave that up to the Attorney General. The Attorney General and the Deputy Attorney General went through and based their decision on Mueller's investigation. This wasn't based on just their own ideas and their own thinking. It was based on Mueller's investigation.
Those fiery words coming after Attorney General William Barr gave Congress a summary of the report by Special Counsel Robert Mueller Sunday evening. On the main question of whether the Trump campaign colluded with Russia, the report was crystal clear. Quote, the special counsel's investigation did not find that the Trump campaign or anyone associated with it conspired or coordinated with Russia in its efforts to influence the 2016 U.S. presidential election. But on the other key question, whether the president tried to obstruct justice, the special counsel didn't give a definitive answer, leaving it to the Attorney General to decide whether to charge the president with a crime. Barr telling lawmakers while Mueller's report does not conclude that the president committed a crime, it also does not exonerate him. But Barr and his deputy Rod Rosenstein concluded Mr. Trump's conduct did not reach the threshold of a crime. Initially fueling those concerns about obstruction, a number of actions by the president, including firing former FBI Director James Comey. And when Mr. Trump said this to Lester Holt.
When I decided to just do it, I said to myself, I said, you know, this Russia thing with Trump and Russia is a made-up story.
The chairman of the House Judiciary Committee demanding to see the full report and threatening to use subpoena power, if necessary, to get it.
As much information as can be made public should be made public without delay.
And while many Republicans, including the president, have expressed support for releasing the findings, they also say it's time to turn the page. Senator Lindsey Graham writing in a statement overnight, now it is time to move on and govern the country. For Mr. Trump, returning to the White House late Sunday, a simple sentiment for a monumental moment.
I just want to tell you that America is the greatest place on earth. The greatest place on earth. Thank you very much. Thank you.
That was NBC's Kristen Welker reporting. Attorney General Barr has not issued any timeline on when Congress or the American public might see more. Today, Russia reacted to the Mueller report, which accused 25 Russians of election interference. A Kremlin spokesman says Russia has never interfered in an election in other countries and, quote, doesn't intend to interfere. Mueller's probe accused Russians of either hacking into Democratic computers or orchestrating a social media campaign to spread disinformation about the 2016 race. Let's send it over to meteorologist Tim Schmidt. Tim, is the weather going to stay how it is now?
Yeah, at least for the rest of today. Things are going to be cloudy and cooler outside. Eventually, though, later this week, we get back to some of that weekend weather. We're talking temperatures in the 60s and even chances for thunderstorms back in your forecast. Right now, the satellite and radar showing drizzly, cloudy skies. There are some clearing skies up to our north. Looks like up toward Mexico and also for Moberly. They're already getting some sunshine. High pressure is moving in. It's a cool north breeze. It's an active breeze this morning and this afternoon, too. You can feel it. It's about 15 miles per hour. Temperatures outside around 48 in Columbia. It's 47 in Jefferson City. There's a bit of a chill to the air this morning, too. Temperature trends will start to warm up throughout the week. We're back into the 60s on Wednesday. Chances for rain back in your forecast as early as Thursday.
Thank you, Tim. Missouri House Democrats are holding a news conference to announce their plans for the final weeks of the session. The legislative session wraps up on May 17th. Big topics at the Capitol this session have included proposed changes to Title IX and abortion. We'll have updates on this story and more at KOMU 8 News at 5. A Mid-Missouri beer shop will pour its last beers tomorrow. The craft beer seller announced its closing on Facebook last week. Its customers say downtown Columbia won't be the same. Nearly 100 people left their favorite memories in the comments. It was known for its game and trivia nights.
Favorite memory probably is meeting some of our best friends there. They've moved away now, but they got us into gaming more than we were already into gaming, and have sent us on a lot of adventures that we wouldn't have otherwise gone on.
The owners have not said why they're closing the store so suddenly. The business opened back in 2014. American Airlines says it's extending flight cancellations as a result of the grounding of the Boeing 737 MAX aircraft. The company has 24 of the grounded Boeing models. They'll be canceling about 90 flights a day through April 24th, which could impact Easter and Passover travel plans for hundreds of passengers. The airline says they'll contact passengers directly if the flight is canceled. Several countries around the world have grounded the planes after 2 deadly crashes in Ethiopia and off the coast of Indonesia involving the model. Powerful testimony at the Food and Drug Administration today from women who've said they've suffered serious health problems because of breast implants. Patients, as well as plastic surgeons and makers of breast implants, are participating in the FDA meeting today and tomorrow. They're discussing a possible link between textured implants and a rare form of lymphoma. More than 400 women in the U.S. have been diagnosed, and 17 worldwide have died.
We are ordinary women. We are educated. We are mothers, sisters, wives, and daughters, and we are suffering. Some are ignored and laughed at. Some are suffering financial strain and marital stress. Some are having difficulty raising their children. Many are angry at and feel defeated by a system that has failed them.
Representatives from 3 of the implant makers also spoke at the FDA meeting this morning. They say safety is their highest priority, and there may be other factors that contribute to the cancer, including genetic predisposition. A second survivor of a mass school shooting appears to have died by suicide. Investigators say the teen was a student at Marjory Stoneman Douglas High School in Parkland, Florida, where 17 people were shot and killed on February 14th, 2018. This would be the second shooting survivor to take their life this month. If his death is ruled a suicide, Douglas graduate 19-year-old Sydney Aleo died by suicide earlier this month. Norwegian officials have opened an investigation into the cruise ship that ended in a Mayday call and aerial evacuations. Authorities want to know why the Viking Sky set sail along the coast despite storm warnings. The ship's engines failed Saturday, forcing a major rescue effort by helicopters. The ship was carrying more than 1,300 people, including many American and British passengers, when it hit severe weather and rough seas. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu cut his trip to D.C. short after meeting with President Trump following a rocket attack. The rocket from the Gaza Strip struck a house in central Israel early this morning in an attack that could set off another round of violence shortly before the Israeli election. There was no immediate claim of responsibility for the incident. 7 people were injured. People in Mozambique, whose homes have been destroyed by a devastating cyclone, are flocking to the nearest city searching for food and water. The government opened a key road to the port city of Beira, saying it will help more supplies move inland. But hundreds, possibly thousands, aren't waiting and are now walking to Beira in hopes they'll find food and water themselves. So far, the death toll from the cyclone is more than 750 people.
Coming up in Weekly Wellness, we're going to be talking about a breakfast food that you might be overlooking, but you certainly are aware of it. We're going to talk about the ins and outs of oatmeal and how to make it better, or how to get it back into your routine.
And here's a live look over downtown Columbia. It is 12:08 in the afternoon. We'll be right back.